අයිබෝන් සර් අද මම ලෝඩ් නේස්බී හමු වෙන්න ආවා මේ අපේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ යුද්ධය සම්බන්ධයෙන් මානුෂිකත්වයේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් කොහොමද අපේ හමුදාව වැඩ කරේ ඒ වගේම බ්‍රිටිෂ් හයි කමිෂනර් මැසේජ් අවලා තියෙනවා ඒ කාලේ හිටපු මේ හිටේවලා තියෙනවා ඇත්තටම කී දෙනෙක් මැරුණාද මේ යුද්ධෙන් දමිළ ජනතාව කී දෙනෙක් මැරුණාද කියලා ඒක දැකපු කෙනෙක් තමයි ඒ ડોකියුමන්ට්ස් ඉල්ලලා දැකපු කෙනෙක් තමයි ලෝඩ් නේස්බී කියන්නේ අද මම එතුමාව හම්බෙන්න ආවේ එතුමත් සමග සාකච්ඡාවකට ඉතින් මේක ගොඩක් ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් යන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලලා මේක ෂෙයා කරන්න අපේ රටේ අපේ ජනතාව දැනගන්න ඕනේ මේ දේවල් අයිබෝන් සර් So as I know you like Sri Lanka. Yes, sir, I brought you some question to ask, which our people, Sri Lankan people, should know what has happened and how did you involve with this, and you already read the questions. And yes, sir, can you go ahead with this, like a summary?
The first thing you asked was, why was I ever involved with Ceylon as it was in 1962?
Yes.
I was working in Calcutta for Reckitt and Coleman, a big British multinational company.
Yeah.
Products like Disprin, Dettol, and polishes.
Colon. Yeah.
So I was asked to come down to Colombo the last minute because our man was in some trouble, and I moved down with my wife and one child, and became the marketing manager for Ceylon there for 9 months. My wife was a doctor. She had worked in Calcutta. Unfortunately, Mrs. Bandanarka's government said you had enough doctors and she could not work as a doctor, which was very disappointing. Nothing a bit wrong, but anyway. So towards the end of our tour, I said to my wife, when you go back to England, find a job, I'm probably going to change my job. So I had about 8 weeks by myself. My close friend was a man called Ananda Datissa de Alwis, who was going to stand for Parliament. He later became your Speaker in your Parliament. So it was all his fault in Sri Lanka why I went into politics and became Deputy Speaker in the UK Parliament. So that's the background. Now you ask, why did I even think about asking about the dispatches?
Yes.
Well, I met Colonel Gash in
Gash,
G-A-S-H.
Okay.
In January, just the beginning of January 2009. He said to me, I am very surprised how well organised the Sri Lankan army is, the care that's being taken with the Tamil civilians who are escaping from the Tamil Tigers, and a number of other points. Now, I forgot all about that until about 3 years ago, and I've seen all this propaganda that from the UN, 40,000 minimum killed, could be 100,000. Some people said, everybody said 120,000.
Yes.
I sensed that was wrong. That couldn't have been that figure. No way. And I wondered, how could I find evidence, concrete evidence? So I suddenly thought, Mr. Gash, or Colonel Gash, will have sent dispatches back to the UK. I mean, he was on the ground, accompanied by a Sri Lankan army man, going to see whatever he wished to see, and he must have done reports back on a regular basis. So I put down what we call a freedom of information request. That was refused 3 times. In here. In the Foreign Office, not here. In the
Foreign Office, in the UK.
In the UK. So now I discovered that there's another man called the Information Commissioner. So I appealed to him. He listened, and he said, I think you have a reasonable point. Because the real crux of it is, there's nearly 500,000 Sri Lankans living in the UK.
Yes.
They are British citizens. They have every right to know what is happening or what has happened to their kith and kin in Sri Lanka, alongside those of us that take a real interest. So, anyway, the net result was, this man, the Information Commissioner, said, leave it to me, I will have a word with the Foreign Office. And then about 2 months later, a large package arrived with 39 pages of redacted dispatches. I had to look at them, went through the dates, found there was none for May, one for April, and I thought, well, he didn't go on holiday, and that was the peak of the war. So what happened to those? So then the Information Commissioner went back to the Foreign Office, and lo and behold, I got another 4 dispatches, which apparently were on a different computer. Little hard to believe, but there you go, maybe these things happen.
Yeah.
And they showed quite clearly that the real care the Sri Lankan army was taking of civilians coming through, the very measured shelling that was taking place, the care that was taken when the civilians that were wounded were taken off the beach and brought down to Trincomalee, and also indications that there probably wasn't a shortage of food and medicines, and 1 or 2 other things. So I began then to have some hard evidence, and since that time I've done a lot more work.
Yes, sir, I heard.
And found out some more. Then we now move really to the resolution in March. I don't know the exact date, it's probably around the middle of March. And I think the strange thing is that it was ever put down at all. The driving force was either the US or the UK. I don't know the answer to that. We do know that Ambassador Blake in the States was in disagreement clearly with the authorities in the States, because basically he produced the same figures as Colonel Gash. That the numbers killed were somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000, 10,000. Of those, at least 20%, maybe 25%, were LTTE cadres, who'd thrown away the uniform, looking like civilians.
Yes.
So, so I don't know whether it was the US or the UK, but I do know that the lobbying in the US was very forceful by the Tamil diaspora. Also know it was really forceful here in the UK.
Yeah, we can see that,
Mr. Cameron, the then Prime Minister, would not listen to me and others who said, no, this wasn't a true situation. So that's how the motion came about. And it's there now. My objective, and I don't support any political party or not even any government.
No.
I support the people of Sri Lanka. My motive is to try now to find evidence that I can get submitted to the UNHCR that will result in them saying, right, we have good progress, and we now will withdraw the motion.
Yes.
I'm not too hopeful at the moment, but maybe they will listen to reason.
Yes.
We will try. So, yes, UK has supported it from the start. Yes, the LTTE headquarters, of course, we have to remember that Mr. Balasingham originally worked in the High Commission, the UK High Commission in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
He was the theoretician of the LTTE movement.
Yes.
Married an Australian lady.
Adele. His wife.
Yes. Who's still in the UK. The organizer of the women's element and the child soldiers. So they lived in the UK. So he in effect, I think, organised the diaspora here whilst he was alive. I visited him. Didn't make
When was that? When did you visit him?
Well, it was obviously before he died. It must be a little while now.
After the war or before?
Oh yeah,
the
after the
war.
war. After the war, because that was the. I say after the war. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But I certainly did go and see him. Didn't find have much success.
So, can British government help to get the legal action against this Adele Balasingham, because what she has done is not right for children?
Well, I suppose the authorities would say that at this point in time they're not concerned with war crimes.
Yeah.
They are concerned, but they're not acting on it.
So
The motion at Geneva is not about war crimes unless you interpret the word accountability to mean war crimes. I have sufficient evidence in my domain at the moment to be able to provide evidence that there was no war crimes by the leaders of Sri Lanka or the vast majority of actions that were taken during the fighting. There may have been one or two incidents. I suppose the two that stand out are one, the white flag incident. I have to say, if I was the field commander, and given the background of the suicide bombers that Sri Lanka has developed, particularly the Tamil Tigers, obviously, entirely the Tamil Tigers, I would have been very wary about somebody coming at me pretending to have a white flag. Perhaps they were genuine, perhaps they weren't, but I don't think I would have accepted them.
No.
Been too risky. That was one incident. But the second one, which there is some concern, is that it would appear there were 2 coachloads of LTTE cadre who disappeared. So we don't know what happened to them. So there are some small incidents.
Where were they? Here disappeared?
No, they disappeared, yeah. They were put on a coach allegedly by the Sri Lankan authority or somebody, and disappeared. So presumably they're part of the missing persons inquiry, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're quite right. If there's any move at all, or suggestion that there should be a war crimes inquiry, then the first person in the queue is Mrs. Balasinghe.
Mrs. Balasinghe, the first person
in the queue.
Yeah. So how we can how we can get the help to, get the UK government support to go ahead with these war crimes, because we know
I
she
don't know.
did something.
They haven't said they are at the moment.
Yeah. How we can help Sri Lanka?
Well, I think what has to happen, personally, South Africa had a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, whereby if you are Mrs. Balasinghe and I'm also someone possibly involved, then you have to give the evidence before judges and say, yes, you did do some wrong.
Yeah.
You receive forgiveness. So that's been done twice now, South Africa and Colombia. So I'm speaking purely personally. I think some variation of that for Sri Lanka would be appropriate.
Yes.
And that would mean then that there's no war crimes.
So actually, as I know, this pro-LTTE people try to interpret their problem in a wrong way in here.
Yeah.
I heard that even my husband also British, they got to know it's like a wrong interpretation. So I managed to change this because this is what is happening there. So we want to clear our British people's mind and get their support.
Yeah.
So
Not just the British, you could add the Canadians and the USA.
Yeah, but they try to change the thing in here, the pro-LTTE people.
Well, you know that a faction wants a Tamil homeland. In other words, to break up the unity of the country.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And it's unacceptable to the majority of Tamils.
Yes.
And the Muslims.
Yeah, and
the Sinhalese.
And the other thing is, in this country, this government or British people, we accept, as a British, I could say, we accept Sri Lankan flag is the flag with the lion, and it's actually represent all our races as well. So when I go out or to see something, then sometimes you can see LTTE flag with the tiger.
Yeah,
so
they're a prescribed organisation. The police that should act.
Yeah, but
and
why
I've
they
put
don't?
pressure on.
Why they don't?
Well, they keep changing the Tamil flag, the tiger flag.
Yeah, but still they're talking about homeland Tamilila.
Yeah.
So we need British people's help.
Yeah, we do. We need pressure on them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's all, sir, for now. If they want more questions to ask from me, I will come back another time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very
Thank
happy
you
to do
very
that.
much for your time.
Pleasure. Pleasure. No, just switch that off.